Welcome to Cats and Rats Podcast, covering your Florida Panthers.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the newest episode of the Cats and Rats Podcast here, episode number 24, episode Robert Svela, Brian McCabe now with that cup ring. I'm your host, Kirby Lupo, joined alongside my co-host for today here, Cody Stevens, and we have a special guest here to introduce to our community here. You've probably heard of him here before. What?
Indeed we do.
Indeed we do, that's right. You guys have probably heard him before on our Spaces call-in shows, which are our post-game shows. And everyone always asks me this, Cody, like, how can I become a part of the podcast or be a guest on there? Easy, like, come and join us on our post-game show. Introduce yourself to our community. It's always a great way. And this gentleman here today comes into our community as often as he can. Cesar Lucero, he's been a fan since 1996, and he's got a lot to tell us here about the Panthers winning the Stanley Cup and some festivities, the parade. How's it going there, Cesar?
Wow, I can't believe it's been exactly a month since the parade. I woke up this morning and I was like, you know what? It's better fitting that we're doing the podcast today, and it's 1 month exactly since, going out there and celebrating the win. It's been a crazy, crazy playoff run. And honestly, it's been one of the best moments. The whole journey has been one of the best moments of my life. So, yeah, like you guys said, I've been a Panther fan since 96, and I'll kind of explain a little bit about that later on. But what have you guys been up to? How have you guys celebrated the Cup?
And I just want to add, Ceaz goes by a lot of nicknames, call him Big Ceaz, so we always go by that. So just had to introduce you formally off the top there. Cody, anything that you wanted to mention here over the last couple weeks? I'm still soaking it all in myself.
I'm just still, like I said, I rewatched them lifting the cup about 4 times a week at this point. Just enjoying it, looking at the guys having their day with the cup. Like Josh Mahura, like celebrating it with the Humboldt Broncos kids that passed away years ago in that horrible bus accident. Ryan Hart. Yeah, Ryan Hart on the golf course using the Stanley Cup as a ball marker. And as of this podcast, or as of today, we're recording, Barkov's going to have his day of the Cup, tomorrow. And the Panthers are going to be broadcasting that live from Finland. Kachuk going to the Children's Hospital and, having the Cup there. It just shows the guys that communities those guys came from and the way they get back to it. It's just, but I think.
Cody, you forgot my guy.
Which one?
Yeah, I think he did.
Buddy Monter.
What do you do?
He was at Six Nations and at the golf course there. He actually visited the prison too, took a picture behind bars there. Did you see that, Cesar?
Oh, yes, I did. Yes.
I guess I don't talk about him enough. I got to share more with Cody.
He stole that from Andrew Shaw, I think it was. But he's a Kraken now, Kirby. We can't.
I don't care. Soaking it all in.
I'm not gonna lie. Those Seattle colors look pretty sick on him.
Him and Mahura.
Pretty nice. Yeah.
Doesn't look weird like Steven Stamkos in Nashville.
Right? It's crazy, but yeah, it looks like it definitely fits him for sure.
Nashville has one of the worst colors. I think those colors look bad on anyone, to be honest with you. So
I'm not a big fan of Nashville's and their alternate logos when they go that route. Honestly.
I mean, I get to watch a bunch of Heinz mustard bottles out there on the ice sometimes. Just
yeah, the heritage jerseys too, with the brown or yellow gloves and the pants. I'm just not a big fan.
Their
of
best jerseys were like the navy blue ones they used to have years ago.
Ooh,
oh yeah, I remember.
It's just that yellow. It's just so disgusting. It's kind of like
bright.
It's like the mustard color, Like, I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that. But Cesar, let's get into kind of like your journey from, and whatever you want to share with the audience, go ahead. But like your journey last year with the Florida Panthers Cup run until up to this point this year with the Panthers winning the Stanley Cup. Just kind of take us on your personal journey there, because you've been through more than the average fan.
Yeah, no, of course. Thanks for having me on the show, guys. I really love your guys' platform, especially with Rod, the last episode. Thought it was pretty awesome. Some really good intakes on his part, too, that we'll kind of get into later on, maybe. But yeah, I've been a Panther fan since 1996. Actually, Rod Van Beesbrook came to our school, elementary school, when I was going to Silver Ridge down here.
Oh, John Van Beesbrook, the Beezer.
Yeah, the Beezer. So he was so cool, really nice with the kids. was able to push me around like during the like when we went out to recess and just hung out with the kids. The Panther community was so awesome, and I was like, "Oh, he's the goalie or the goalie." And when you're at that age, you really don't know much about sports other than when you watch it on TV. Then you kind of see them. So I was kind of starstruck back then, and ever since that moment, I became a Panther fan. And for the run of the cup that year. I didn't watch all the games because like I said, I was kind of young. But as I got older, I started following the team when they ended up moving down to Sunrise, which I think was the National Car Rental Center. I think that's what they called it.
Yep.
So we went to a few games, and when they had Pavel Bure, Valerie Bure, I actually have a stick from both of them that was signed. The owner, the previous owner, Wade Nzinga, actually sent it to me, which was pretty cool.
Cool.
So I've been a fan for a long time, like I said, like you guys said. And last year was an interesting year. Actually, 2 years ago, I got diagnosed with cancer, chondrosarcoma, grade 1, which is a bone tumor that was located in my right femur. And it was probably one of the most devastating news that I ever got. I ended up getting surgery back in 2022. It was my first major surgery. They had to remove part of the tumor. And then a year after that, which was last year's cup run, they had to do a minor procedure where they had to go in and had to do an ablation on it, basically just to clean up some areas that was still there. And it was, I think the last series I got to watch was the Boston series. So being down 3-1, and I think we ended up winning that last home game and made it to game 7. And I had all my friends at my house for game 7. And just to tie it up with like a minute left to go, and then going into overtime, Verhaeghe scoring that game winner, it was just unbelievable moment, unreal moment. And I still remember it to this day. We're all going crazy. And that Friday after that series, I ended up going to the hospital because I had to get that minor procedure. And it's just an in and out patient procedure, and we didn't really think nothing of it. But I ended up having a cardiac arrest during the procedure, and my heart stopped for 3.5 minutes. So they ended up resuscitating me, and I was in an induced coma for about 2.5 weeks, almost 3 weeks. So I basically missed the whole playoff run. And then it's crazy because my friend Shauna, and which I'll show you guys pictures afterwards, they would go to the hospital, and my best friend Kelly would take my mom every single day. She's been such a great friend of mine. I don't know what I would do without him. But it's crazy because when I woke up from that coma, we were playing Carolina Hurricanes, I think, and it was game 6. I think it was game 6 when I woke up. And
game 4?
Game 4? Yeah, because it didn't even go 7 games. My bad. You're right. So it was like, no, it's actually game 3. The one that went to 4 overtimes. It was the 4 overtime. And he's like, dude, I had to stay up 4 hours for this game after. So it was 4 hours after. I'm like, no way.
That was game 1, and people didn't want us to do spaces that night, Cesar, but we ended up doing about 45 minutes anyways. We did a poll. I was outvoted, but it's still...
It's crazy because I'm like, the whole time, when I woke up from the coma, the first thing I said was, let's go Panthers. And everybody just starts laughing because they're like, oh my God, he's all right. All right, he's good.
Yeah, what's funny about that 4 overtime game? Kirby could attest to this. There were people that actually started to not care and if we won this game or not. They just wanted it to end.
I was so mad, Cesar.
People
are like, it was if we lose.
Like that game was a
honestly
marathon.
I think I'm glad I wasn't awake for that game because I might have had another cardiac arrest.
He always knows how to make light of situations.
You know what's funny? I don't even remember being nervous for the game because no one had any scoring chances. It was some of
what was the final shots on goal in that game?
65 to 59.
Oh my goodness!
And guys like Monter and even like Forsling, they're getting up to the hour mark of time on ice.
Yeah,
which is
Montour was at like 59, 50 something. Ekblad and Forsling were probably above 50 minutes. Mahura had like 26 or something.
Yeah, like 25 plus minutes for Mahura. And Lomberg scored the goal, right, Cody?
Yeah, because Lomberg did score the first OT winner, but it got called back because Colin White was in the goalie crease. And
oh my god!
Such a skinny call, I would call it too. I thought.
And Carolina some fans in Carolina left the arena because they thought it was over, and it went up, and they legit played a full game after that.
Kind of reminds me of the Heat game when they were down to the Mavericks, I think. So everybody left.
The Spurs.
It was the Spurs. Yeah, you're right. It was the Spurs.
Oh, and they were leaving.
And they were leaving, and then they wanted to come back, and they couldn't come back in.
No re-entry.
It's like, you guys left. Why do you want to come back? So, but yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. And now, if fans left the Florida-Toronto game last year in Toronto, we had some of our community members there at that game on the road. I wouldn't blame them too much because we thought we won it in the shootout with Erod there. And then they reviewed it and said it was a double tap or whatever. And then the shootout continued and the Leafs went on to win that one. So I wouldn't blame fans in that situation, Cesar, but a lot of times I would because fans are just looking.
But it's this regular season shootout game. This one's Eastern Conference Finals game 1, and it took a minute for them to review it. Let's be real here. And I don't think the PA announcer must have announced the goals in review, but since you're on the concourse, you can't hear it.
Well, I think he might have been sleeping as well. So
there's
considering how long that game was.
Yeah, there's a clip. I'll send it to you, Cesar, of like the PA announcer going into like the third overtime intermission, and he goes, "This is like, I forget who they're sponsored by. I think it's like PNC Intermission or something." And he goes, "This is the PNC Intermission. I'm so sorry." Like,
oh my god.
Oh yes, I remember hearing that. Yeah.
But piggybacking off of that, it's just. So it seems like for those 2 years, like once again, it just shows like the strength of you that you're able to come back, and I consider you one of the main pillars of the whole Panthers fan base, because not many people can go through what they did and still be strong, 2 years later.
Yeah, it's crazy because once I got I believe once I ended up watching Game 7 in the hospital bed, because I ended up leaving the hospital a week after I woke up, but I wasn't able to finish watching the game because I was just so weak and, just recovering. Haven't eaten for 2 weeks. So I was still on fluids there and trying to get myself back to somewhat normal. But yeah, coming home, being able to watch the Stanley Cup, being able to be in the Stanley Cup at home. I know my friends came over to watch Game 1. It was in Vegas. I was only able to sit in my chair for like maybe a half hour, an hour. I was just in so much pain still. So, but yeah, I was just happy that we ended up going to the Stanley Cup, and, just amazing what Chuck did that whole playoff run.
I don't think that'll ever be repeated.
No, and Lomberg too. A lot of people don't realize what a big part of that run was too. I think we're gonna miss him a lot. But what a year that year was, just for us to barely make the playoffs, having Pittsburgh, literally win and had Chicago fans crying for not getting the best chance to win the lottery.
And they
ended up still got it. So that goes to show you it doesn't matter where you're at. You never know. But I was just so happy. 1 point, we ended up making it, and being down 3-1, coming back and going to the Stanley Cup final. I was like, this team has something. And I know a lot of people in the beginning of the year, especially the NHL Network, were like, I don't think they can do it again. It was a Cinderella run. They're they're going to be tired. They're going to be, I don't think they're going to have the energy. And just the fact of all that noise, all the negativity, I think kind of energized our team. And, especially Barkov, you've seen it this offseason or last offseason, how much he worked and how much weight he lost, how much faster he got. And you saw it during the beginning of the season. They came out flying, and they started off the season really, really good. So I thought that was awesome. But, just experiencing this past year, being able to watch it finally, being able to be going to the playoffs, every series watching it, I just knew there was something special with this team. And, it was so emotional when we won Game 7. Just all the emotion of being a Panther fan and just all the hardship that I've gone through, all the pain. And people don't realize, too, I lost my little brother 2 years ago to a bicycle accident. He would be turning 21 in September this year. And we used to go to hockey games all the time. I would buy him tickets. I would take him to the practice rinks to meet the players after practice. Here's a cool story, kind of when we drafted Rocco Grimaldi. He was one of my favorite players when we drafted, and I was hoping good things for him. I was like, okay, maybe this could be the next Martin St. Louis, right? Because I think that's what a lot of people thought he might be.
Farron Fleury, St. Louis, those little guys, Cole Caulfield.
Right? And he was such a good guy, down to earth, and cared about the fans. And he still does, especially in the minor leagues or in the AHL. I still keep up with him, but
he went on to play in Nashville there.
Yeah, he's still playing for their affiliate
Milwaukee.
team.
Well, the Milwaukee Admirals, I believe.
Yeah, but it was a cool moment. I think it was like one of the practices. I guess they had a skate on the ice with the prospects, something the Panthers kind of used to do a lot back when the team wasn't so good. Just to get fans out there and get them going. But I was like, hey, that's Rocco Grimaldi. Go tell him I said hello. And my little brother's like, okay. And he did even something better. He brought him over to me, and he's like, here's my friend Cesar. He's like a big brother. He can't go on the ice, but he wants to meet you. And he brought him over to me, and we sat down and we had a little talk. He was just so awesome, really inspiring. Got to take a picture with him. I'll never forget that moment. So, kind of all the emotions of being with my brother, moments like that, kind of just all hit when we won the cup. It's like I kind of felt him there with us. And I felt it even more during the parade, which I think I'm going to go show you guys whenever.
Yeah, you're going to pull some stuff up for us.
Yep, and speaking of that, the viral clip from the parade, which I think a lot of people, it got me choked up a bit. I'm pretty sure it got Kirby choked up a bit. Paul Maurice coming off the double-decker bus, giving you a big old bear hug, and you looked like you were just going insane.
It was crazy.
Make sure you guys jump over to our YouTube channel if you're listening to this on Spotify or Apple, so you see this part that Cesar's going to show, and you might have some pictures as well. So go ahead there, Cesar.
Yeah, it was crazy because at first the bus stopped, I guess, because all the other buses in front, I guess they were trying to load off to the other players to get on stage. And Lombard was just out there running around with his shirt off and the trophy and stuff. I'll show you guys pictures here in a bit. But the bus stopped, and I noticed Paul Maurice's son, Jake, on top of the bus. And he's sitting there chugging a beer, and he started pointing at me. He's like, yeah, let's go. And then I point back at him, and then he's like, here. And he's like, and he shows me the beer, and he actually throws it at me. Totally misses. Hits the top of the canopy, and it falls on the ground. So they ended up picking it up and getting my friend in the back. She was chugging it. And then he ended up coming down from the bus, gave it to the guy on the ground. And he said, give it to him. And for people that don't know, but I actually quit drinking 1.5 years ago. So it's actually been 1 year and like 6 months since I drank. So I'm like, I'm just going to pour this all over me. And the guy's like, you want my goggles? I'm like, yeah, sure. He takes his goggles off and he puts them on me. And I was like, well, let's go. And I just start pouring it down on me. I didn't care. It was just like, everybody just starts cheering. The crowd starts going crazy. Jake and his friends on the bus start going crazy. And then next thing you know it, I throw the beer can down. I'm like, let's go. And then here comes this tall, I didn't realize how tall Paul Maurice was. Like, honestly, this tall old guy comes out and he's got this little kitty shirt on, which is awesome. For people that don't know the backstory, I think those are his daughter's cats.
Yeah, those are his actual cats, I believe.
Yeah, he's a cat owner.
Yeah. So it's crazy. And I'm like, and everybody around me is like, who is this old guy? And they didn't realize who it was. And then until he hugged me, and I'm like, all right, this guy's hugging me. And then I didn't know who it was until he whispered in my ear. He's like,
oh, really?
We're fucking champions. So I don't know if you guys want to bleep that out, but
no, it's a Paul Maurice quote. We can't bleep that out.
Yeah, there you go. We might have to clip it.
Like, and then he's like, thank you. And I'm like, Paul Maurice, did you see that? And nobody realized who it was until he went back into the bus.
Really?
And, holy crap, that was Paul Maurice. And everybody just starts going crazy. Yeah. It was, and like, that moment was just like the icing on the cake, the cherry on top, everything. Like,
you got the clip for us there for
yeah.
So, for our viewing audience here, and any pictures as well. I know you were mentioning some pictures there of the parade there, just to have people take this in. Some people that haven't seen it already on Twitter X.
All right, so you want me to share this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Our screen there. We're starting to get high tech here with our different share capabilities. So we're going to get into this with Cesar when he comes back on as a guest for us. Whenever you're ready there, Cesar.
I guess Cody has to allow me to share it first.
There. Yeah, we'll get it set up. Caesar's going to be on with us throughout the season. We'll do different screen share stuff, little film stuff. So if you guys are joining us on the YouTube side, you're going to be able to take in a little bit more. I know some of you, convenience of listening to us at work, but Spotify has video now and stuff.
And before we show the video with Cesar hugging Paul Maurice, I think people are trying to wonder, where the heck can I get Cesar's hat from, right? Looks, it's got some swag to it, don't you think?
Let me take another look at it here.
Is there a place we can get?
Yeah, I think there's a place close to my house.
Yeah.
Oh,
right.
Oh, you want me to get this in here? I'm not even ready. I'm not even prepared.
I kind of know where it's from.
Yeah, I think it's like on North University Drive.
It's in Cesar's neck of the woods there.
Yeah, it's right. It's close to my house. Great place.
I'm gonna pull it up here. Make sure you guys are checking out all of Canes wear, like championship gear. They have in now pucks, t-shirts, all of that stuff. They're going to be joining us for our fantasy football league as well there, Cesar. Caesar's showing it off there if you guys are watching us over on the YouTube channel there. So they're going to be joining us in our fantasy football league. They're going to be putting together a prize pack, and they're also going to be competing against us. So Teams Caneswear is going to be joining us for our first ever Cats and Rats fantasy football league. And we're looking forward to having back all the community members that we've had over the past couple of years join us for that league as well. So just to let everyone know, Panthers Fever is here. Are you geared up? Caneswear and Davies is a place for all your Florida Panthers needs. They have the latest gear for our favorite NHL team: jerseys, polos, t-shirts, hoodies, hats, and more. Caneswear has you covered. Stop by their store in Davie or at pantherswear.com. Again, that's pantherswear, WEAR.com for all your Panthers needs.
This is the Cats and Rats podcast. And now, a special segment.
All right, we're back here. We figured out the screen share thing. Be patient with us. It's a new feature of ours. But again, jump over to YouTube here. Cesar, you're going to play us the clip with you and Paul Maurice. Go ahead. Floor is yours.
Yeah. So this is part of it, I guess, or the beginning of it. I don't think I ended up posting where Jake Maurice threw the beer down. But this is in the beginning when I guess he brought the beer down from the top of the bus. He gave it to the guy that was on the ground, which we're all trying to still figure out who that guy was with the goggles. So if anybody from Panther community knows who it is, definitely give him a shout out or let him know that, much appreciated for that moment. But yeah, how's the sound, guys?
Yep.
Ready for you. Throw it all over me.
So yeah, that's what I was like. I'm going to put it all over. So real quick, my friend in the background is throwing the beer on top of me. I don't know if you can see.
Yeah.
That's the original beer that Jake threw at me at first.
Okay, good.
So it ended up going on top of the canopy and dropping on the ground. She was like drinking it at the same time before that. And I didn't even know until I watched the video that she was also pouring it on me. So that was pretty awesome.
Good play-by-play there. Again, high fives here.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
And this is where Paul Maurice comes out. See, nobody really knows who it is until
He's wearing that.
And that's when I realized that, that was Paul Maurice. And there's Jake. He's the one with the hat. So that was awesome.
Yeah. So,
but it was such a special moment. It was
People
awesome.
should know that you might not remember Cesar because of your health obstacles that you were going through last year. But Paul Maurice was wearing that T-shirt in the press conference. One of our co-hosts and one of our podcast guests as well here, Cody, Vincent, he doesn't like when Paul Maurice is wearing that T-shirt. He says he doesn't wear that T-shirt so well. And I always send him that gift from last year when he was like, "It's just a great story. It's just a great story."
I don't know if Paul Maurice has made anyone eat more. I don't know who Paul Maurice made eat their words more, Dom from Twitter or Vincent.
And then our co-host here today, that Nick's not here today, is a big Paul Maurice backer. Once upon a time, he wasn't so much, but he is now. So before we wrap today, see, there anything else on that? I didn't want to cut in there. No.
I was going to kind of show some pictures I'm going to share here.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can get this.
And we'll describe them the best we can for our audio audience. Again, we want you guys to go over to our YouTube channel and check out these things. If you're listening to this, we're going to add little elements into this. That'll be for video only.
Like, it's cool to see the backstory of these videos because I never knew that Jake threw.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
I didn't notice him, and I kind of knew when he was up there. I recognized him because he was. For people that don't know in our Panther community, he's a play-by-play commentator for the Everblades. So he's big into like Paul Maurice says, because of my sons is why I changed my views with the media and stuff. I have more respect for people in media department, which is kind of cool.
Our fellow colleague Armando also interviewed Jake, and it was on feature on Hockey Night Canada during the play.
Yeah, and it's funny. And Maurice said this during one of the press conferences. His son's been in pro hockey for 2 years. He has 2 rings. Maurice been a head coach for over 30 years, and he just got his first one.
Yeah,
right.
Better late than never. I mean, like I said, like that clip of Maurice lifting the cup was absolutely insane.
Yeah, it was amazing.
All right.
Can you guys see the slideshow?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead there. Speak it to our listening audience.
So this goes to show you, and this is Karen and Rosanna.
Oh, Rosanna.
There's Rosanna.
I ended up meeting them after and stuff. And there's Lomberg. This was before the Paul Maurice moment. So everybody was just like, all the girls were like, oh my God, it's Lomberg. Which he looks like the Incredible Hulk right there. But it was awesome. I got to see Karen and Rosanna afterwards by whatchamacallit that oh geez.
I don't know if I can help you there. Carly was
the elbow room?
Hard Rock
There we go, the elbow room. Jeez, I had a little brain fart there. But yeah, it was literally right in front of the elbow room. And
some of our community was at the Hard Rock tent. That's one there.
And then let me see, let me go to the next one. And then this is where I met
Nicky Smokes.
Nicky Smokes. He was
Okay.
awesome. So for people that don't know, he works for Barstool, and they were giving him a lot of shit during the Panthers playoff run. I also got to meet who was it? The other one from Barstool.
Oh,
From
you met
Chiclets,
RA. I saw that.
RA,
picture,
yeah.
that video.
RA from Spittin' Chiclets. And he was actually cool as hell. I know he got kicked out afterwards in the locker room.
Yeah, from the Kachuk family there, and Sean Thorne wasn't too happy with him either.
Which I thought was hilarious. I loved it.
Yeah, I thought it was funny. It was good.
But yeah, Nicky Smokes was cool as hell. We ended up taking a picture. He was awesome. Here's a little bit of Bob and I, holding the cup. Who did it better? And this is one for you, Kirby. I know you're a big Yager, or your mom was a big Yager fan.
Yeah, me and her.
Somebody from our Panther community actually goes to my church. And I think it's Kibby. And he used to see
Kibby?
me.
I know Kibby from Twitter.
Yeah. I didn't know until we just started talking this year that it was him. Because you don't know people from their user handles until you actually start talking to him, and he's like,
he knows a lot of former NHL players.
Yeah. So he used to see me at church because right down the street from my house, and he goes, "I know you. I know you're a big Yager fan." And he's like, "I got a picture of you and Yager. I'm gonna try to get that signed for you." So he ended up one day surprising me, and he said, I got Yager to sign it for you." So that was pretty special.
A little plug with our trivia game.
I was to say, that's what I was just thinking about. The question Cesar got wrong.
Cesar didn't get the Yager question. He's still kicking himself. He's got a chance to redeem himself.
At least I got
Friday.
the Stephen Weiss question right. So I did
that was a
redeem
good
myself.
one. 4th all time in points, I think. So
Yep. Nobody knew that. They're like, oh, crap. So
that looks like Teddy Purcell right there.
It is.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Throwback there.
What a fool by me.
Yep. So these are the picture on, I don't know which way it's showing on your guys' screen, but those are my friends and I when what's his name? Jeez. I'm so bad at names right now. He did the concert outside before game 2, I believe.
All I can think of last year was Flow Rider. I can't think of the ones.
The Kid Leroy did one.
Okay, yeah.
Leroy, and then the one, oh my God. He's Mr. 3. He's not Mr.
Pitbull.
2. Pitbull. No, not Pitbull.
I can't help you on this one.
Man, my friends are going to kill me. And I just saw a video on Instagram just a little while ago.
It's not Cody.
Someone will share it in the YouTube comments for us.
I'm so sorry, guys. I'm really bad at
Is it a band or a singular guy?
No, he doesn't even sing. He's like
DJ Khaled.
There we go.
Oh no, Rosanna's gonna get mad at you for her.
Oh my God, I know she's gonna give me so much crap. But
I saw a picture of him today that went viral where they showed his fridge and he had so much ice cream in his fridge. He's got his own ice cream.
That's what I was talking about. That's what I was just looking at too.
I was looking at before we came to air tonight.
That's what I was looking at too. That's crazy. So yeah, that was we all got soaked. It was raining crazy, and I ended up buying socks because my feet were frozen when we got into the arena. I was like, dude, there's no way I can have my feet wet the whole game.
No.
But and then that's my little brother. We used to go when the Panthers used to be so bad. We used to be able to go down to the lower level and meet the players afterwards. They would let the fans just meet the players, and one of the coolest moments, he would always ask the players, "Can I touch your beard?" And they would actually let him touch the beard.
Yeah, but if Purcell's in this photo, that means it's we weren't as bad then because he was only there for the playoff run.
Yeah,
60.
playoff run.
Yeah,
with the Corgi guy,
Hoodler.
Yep. And that's him again. Back when we're wearing those old blue jerseys. I kind of like them. It kind of, I mean, they're okay, but
they never made sense to me.
Yeah. And then,
they're trying to be like Pittsburgh too much. But yeah, they've kind of grown over time with people.
Bring back the original reverse retro as an alternate. Yes. I'm good.
Yeah. And then, of course, this was during the playoffs. We took a picture. I put a whole bunch of pictures of everyone.
Yeah, on the tarmac there.
This is when we thought we were going to win it in game 5. We didn't end up winning that game. So it was a bummer. But It was
And the
worth
watch
the
party
wait.
for people for Game 6. We had
Dude, that watch
Canadian Ryan come
party.
down for that one.
That watch party was so incredible. Like the amount of people that were there before the game, it was unbelievable. But that game sucked in general. Just getting our asses kicked.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, this was the picture that we took after the cup. We ended
nice.
up staying all the way towards like literally 12:30 in the morning.
Oh, I would have been with you because people I wanted to leave early. I'm like, I'm not leaving.
No, I'm not leaving. And I was like, let's just go down there to get closer. You never know. Players might
never know what stories happen when they come out later.
Right? Players, they stay down in the ice and,
Stephen Lawrence was partying thereafter. I remember.
Yeah, the players didn't end up leaving till what? 5 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
I know Kachuk left like 6:30, he said, and he went straight to
the elbow room.
So
they were everywhere.
We ended up staying till like 12:30, and then we went to Mojito Bar right by the mall and just started celebrating there too. So
this is a little off topic, but I do know a video where Barkov, Forsling, and Stenlund were on the ice and they were celebrating with some people. Was that not you guys?
No, that would have been nice, but we didn't stay that late. But I think it was maybe Barkov's family. From what I'm hearing, they were all in the club level, still celebrating during them when they were celebrating in the locker room. So I think it was a couple of their family members or Stephen Lawrence's family members.
Yeah.
And then there's another picture of us at the parade and stuff before. But yeah, I mean, it looks like that's it, guys. But yeah, it was such an awesome. Yeah. It was an awesome experience. Like, I'll never forget this moment in my life. If I ever do get able to, or if I'm able to ever sit down with Paul Maurice to like let him know how much that hug really meant to me, like it was unbelievable. Like the Jake family, he ended up messaging me on Instagram because I messaged him telling him thank you for that special moment, and he messaged me back and he goes, "It was such a special moment for me and my family." So that was pretty cool. So
yeah,
it was awesome for sure.
Yeah, but now let's really test your fandom here, Cesar.
Our final segment here. Cody's going to take.
I'm curious about this one. Kirby's in this too.
Okay.
Now, I've already been a little prepped for this, so Cesar, this might be a little tougher for you. So if you need to stall, Cody can throw.
Bring it.
So this is the
I love the challenge.
This is the first player that pops into your head when I say these.
Okay.
All right. All-time favorite Panther.
Ooh. Man, there's so many. That the thing is,
right? You got to have an honorable mention because I told Cody we've been around since '93.
Yeah, we've been because if you say a player, then you kind of think and they're like, wait a minute, maybe he's not. But when you just say all-time favorite player, I'm gonna go. He's not my all-time favorite, but when you ask that question, the first player that pops to mind is Stephen Weiss because he's been there for so long and he never got to taste. I mean, he did get to taste the playoffs once, but he never got to taste like the success that these cats have,
Oh yeah,
like Barkov and all these other players. So
I told Kirby this, and Kirby get back to me on this. I said this on the run. I said if there was any Panther I could add to this team to give him a taste of this success, it would have been Stephen Weiss.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, he was a fan favorite. He was so good to the community, so loyal to the team, and man, just I wish he would have had better success. Yeah. Or I wish they would have put a better team around him.
Exactly. I'll give some love to Luongo, but Barkov, he just won the cup. So it's so hard to answer this question. The moment I would have leaned like Luongo Beezer, and I always loved giving the goalie love, but it's probably going to be Barkov in short time here, Cody. But I'll throw some love to Luongo, I guess.
For people who know me, it's Ekblad for me.
Okay, that's surprising because I know there's a lot of people that are hard on Ekblad, but I kind of like that question. Yeah.
I call myself Ekblad Island because that's where I usually stay.
One of our other future guests, Daniel, will be on our podcast here soon. He's a big Ekblad guy as well.
Honorable mention for me, it's either Barkov, but underrated honorable mention, Soupy, Brian Campbell.
We might get to him here in a bit.
All right. Soupy, man. Oh. He had a great run with us too.
I wish it was longer though. That's the part on
Outside of the Reinhardt goal for the cup, because it's the obvious answer, all-time favorite Panther goal.
Ooh, wow!
I know mine.
All-time favorite Panther goal.
That's tough.
Damn, that
Play
is
along
tough.
with us at home, everyone.
I'll go first. Barkov in between legs, game 2 versus Carolina in the Eastern Conference Finals, because that was when Barkov arrived in the playoffs for the first time in his career. That was that moment.
Like, are we talking highlight or favorite? Because if we're talking highlight, I'll go Barkov against Carey Price. But if we're going favorite, I'm going to go Carter Verhaeghe game 7 Boston.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Kirby on that one. Game 7 against Boston. But if you're talking about highlight goals, what about the goal from Reinhardt and that pass from Barkov against the Rangers during the regular
That's where
season?
I thought you were going to go when you just said that. That's a good one. We got Barkov all around here. Yeah.
I mean,
there's 3 goals that are going to go down in all-time Panthers highlight history.
I mean,
Barkov.
just like watching him pat it up in the air, falling at the same time.
No, the
having
juggle,
the IQ to just know that Reinhardt's going to be there.
Yeah.
It's the juggle around a defenseman that gets me.
It was like ease. It was with ease. He did it like it was nonchalant.
No. And then the other 2 were the goals, the Carey Price one and the Carolina.
The Carolina one just, for me, is just like, because before that, you're like, when is Barkov going to show up in the playoffs? That was when all that changed.
And I'll say also the hit against what's his name on Boston there in game 5, Hathaway. That was also a Barkov moment, Cody.
Barkov had his best playoff run last year. I thought,
not even close.
Like he like last year is when we're like, I know a lot of fans were like, Barkov needs to step up in the playoff. Barkov needs to do something in the playoffs. Last year, he literally, him and Tkachuk carried the team. Besides
Barkov from game 5 of the Boston series all the way into Vegas, even though we lost that, he was our best player.
But he was
our best
player.
defenseman, I say often in the Vegas.
This postseason was a different level to me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He was faster. You could definitely tell. Like, he was just...
there was moments this year. Like against Edmonton, that game in Edmonton.
Against McDavid, like, he kept up with McDavid.
No, yeah, because the game 1 where he outskated McDavid down the ice and McDavid couldn't catch up to him. And then the one game 3, when he pickpockets Bouchard, takes it down, and they score the 4 on full, gives the fours against Reinhardt again, tic-tac-toe. But we're going to flip the script here. Most infuriating Panther.
Oh, that's easy. Infuriating?
Who do you got, Ceaz?
Peter Worrell?
No, not Pest.
No, on the negative.
Infuriating to watch.
Oh, okay.
For you.
Okay.
For you. Personally. I'm going to throw mine out there. Alex Auld. It was easy when Cody asked me this.
Damn.
We traded Luongo. We got Bertuzzi and Auld back.
And
Bertuzzi
Brian Allen.
One game. Brian Allen was awful.
I'm gonna go with Markstrom. Markstrom.
Interesting. I wanted to love him, but he frustrated you, hey?
Yeah, because he had that one good year and then just, I don't know, he just fell off.
But he didn't have a team behind him, Cesar, just like Stephen Weiss didn't.
No, he didn't. But I mean, he's still not great to this day. He's a good goalie, but you wouldn't say you would have him on your team to win you a playoff game.
I would have loved him after what he did at Vancouver in the bubble there. It took him a long time to get to where he was because he was a prized prospect, just like Spencer Knight. He went in the 2nd round, but he was projected to go late 1st round. He fell to us. The Detroit Red Wings wanted to take him. Their Swedish scout at the time got really mad not getting the Swedish-born Markstrom. But that's an interesting one there, Cesar.
For me, Scott Clemenson.
Oh.
Yeah, Clemenson frustrated me too. We're going all after the goalies.
Honorable mention, Matheson. And some people, and I hear you, listener. I hear you now. Keith Yandel. He wasn't frustrating me. We had a top 5 power play. When
who was more frustrating? Bertuzzi.
I never watched him.
Bertuzzi's in there with Auld and Brian. That's the whole trade.
Yeah.
The Luongo thing. We're frustrated as fans as it is. And then we get a player. That's why when we made the trade, I don't want to get into a whole Matthew Tkachuk diatribe here, but when we made that trade for Matthew Tkachuk, I'm like, everyone, I know you're sad losing Huberdeau, even Uyghur fans, but look who we're getting back. When we made that deal with Vancouver, like Bertuzzi, I was like, I don't know. I think he's kind of over the hill. Then he teases us for 5 points in the first game, and then he's got chronic back issues right after that. Brian Allen turning pucks over late in games. All not being able to save a beach ball. Clemenson was bad, Cody, but I think Ald was even worse. And there was a kind of semblance of a team in front of him there that was like kind of maybe a fringe playoff team, and we could just never get there.
But I think you hate Ald more because Luongo went the other way. And Bertuzzi was never the same.
They were not good.
Bertuzzi was never the same after the Steve.
He went
Morris.
to Detroit and played good there, but he didn't play good for Florida.
No,
but he was never the same after the Steve Moore incident.
Yeah, no, he wasn't.
For those who don't know, YouTube that.
I was never a Bertuzzi guy.
Probably the most shock. It's probably Malice at the Palace levels of shocking. It's either that or the Donald Brashear, Marty McSorley slash.
I was just going to add that one.
But next up, most underrated Panther in history. I got my answer.
Most underrated Panther.
I'm gonna say mine. I don't want to get stolen. Brian Campbell, easily.
Underrated? I don't know if he was underrated. A lot of people.
Within Panthers history, he's extremely underrated.
Ooh.
So you're not looking at as a player in the NHL, just with the Panthers.
Yep.
Cody threw out another one to me, and I'll throw it out there. I'll see if I can think of another one, Cesar. But Jason Garrison, that was one me and Cody talked about.
I forgot about Jason Garrison.
I might not have liked him as much as Brandon Montour, but I like Jason Garrison a lot. And then I knew we were going to lose him for sure to free agency.
Yeah, but Garrison could hit the net unlike Brandon Montour.
Oh, come on. Okay. Brandon Montour could do other things. Yeah, that's a tough one. Hey, Cesar.
It is, just because
a lot of guys.
I'm looking at a lot of guys, and man, underrated. Jeez.
I think Sam Reinhart's a current one.
Maybe in the league, but for the Panthers, I don't think he's underrated.
Even Panther fans that we talk to, Cesar.
But are they really Panther fans?
Like they'll mention fifth or sixth. They'll say Forsling. They'll say Barkov, Kachuk.
I have another name.
Verhaeghe.
But go ahead with your
I think when you're mentioned fifth or sixth on your team and you just won the Stanley Cup, you're underrated.
Well, I'm gonna go off a little bit on he's a current, or he was a current Panther. I know a lot of people are gonna probably disagree with me, but Nick Cousins.
There's some Nick Cousins love in our community.
Just because what he was able to do during the season. I mean, he was able to play on that second line, and he was able to play good minutes on that second. So I think we're gonna end up missing him this year too. So he's such an underrated player, and then when he went down with that head injury, we kind of noticed it too. So
what, Zucker, was it?
Yep.
Yeah.
But another name, Evgeny Dadonov.
Yeah, I asked Cody. I don't know, underrated, but okay, within the fan base.
I think
maybe
best one-timer.
Pavel Bure.
See, he asked me shot or one-timer, and I kind of went Bure. I'm with you there. I'll add Mike Hoffman.
Mike Hoffman's mine.
Yeah, it's between those two. Maybe
Bure best shot, I would say, but one-timer.
Bure had probably the best wrist shot in the NHL.
Ole Jokinen also had a sneaky one-timer from the top of the umbrella.
Yeah.
Power play.
But yeah, Hoffman. I forgot about Hoffman. When we traded him, our power play sucked.
Yeah, I loved Hoffman. Like, people like, he's a one-trick pony. I don't care if he can do.
He was good on he was good on that power play.
We needed the power play so bad. I don't think we cared about 5-on-5.
Not at that point.
Nope.
He was a bubble hero.
Best passer.
Huberdeau.
That's the only answer to me.
I mean, he was, and he still is, one of the best passers in the league. But yeah, when I think of like best passer, Huberdeau or Stephen Weiss.
Yep. All right.
I'll put Barkov honorable mention.
Yep.
Right there.
And here's one, and you're gonna have to think about this. Outside of the moves that were responsible for us winning the cup, the Ryan Kachuk, Bennett, Montour deals. Your favorite Panthers acquisition or signing or trade?
Kirby's going to like me for this one. Jágr.
I didn't love it at the time because I was like, what does he have left? But when we look back at it in hindsight, it's got to be the favorite. He changed the whole culture.
He changed everything. And
I have a different one.
Go ahead, Cesar.
like the energy that he brought, like you could feel it in the arena. Fans were coming to the games. Yager
Traveling
fans.
Yeah,
Dude, those guys were awesome, man.
I saw them in Calgary and said hi to them.
PK Subban in the All-Star game dressing up like Yager.
Yeah.
Just moments like that, you just like, oh man,
we were relevant again for a short glimmer.
We were, and it brought people to the seats, and we ended up making the playoffs. So he did a lot of good things for us, even though he was old and he wasn't the same player.
He taught Barkov Huberdeau how to train off the ice, how to be real pro.
He made
how to
Barkov
believe in themselves. They didn't believe in themselves till he got
I think he made Barkov more of a captain than people think he like. If I don't think Barkov would be the same. I don't think he would be a captain if Yager didn't come to the team.
All right.
That's a good point.
Mine.
Yeah, I'm going to kind of piggyback there with Cesar.
Mine, the Riley Smith trade.
To us or away from us?
To us. I'm
trying to think of the one to us.
The Jimmy Hayes to Boston, Riley Smith to Florida.
Jimmy Hayes wasn't bad. Like we were
rest in peace, Jimmy Hayes.
And,
yes, rest in peace.
And Nick Bukestad were the only guys putting the pucks in net for.
Yeah, I have a good friend of mine. His name is Heimel, and we used to do a radio show together. He loved Jimmy Hayes. He's like, dude, he just sits in front of the net and just. He's always there. He's always there. He's like, I don't know why they don't play him. They don't play him more. They need to play him more. But it's I don't know. That was his favorite player. But yeah, I remember Jimmy Hayes.
I just remember Riley Smith just in that Islanders series mainly.
Oh yeah, that's second line.
So good.
And Trocheck and Smith. That's when Yager kind of ran out of gas. And Barkov and Huberdeau just went ready for that stage.
Yeah, like he was so good in that series.
And the Islanders did a good job of keying on the first line with.
I was so mad when we traded him to Vegas. I was so mad. Was he the one that got traded? Or,
yes, he was the one that got traded. They selected Marchessault,
which is the head scratcher to me. But
I still think it's still the worst move in Panthers history. Outside,
it's just that Verhaeghe and other things made up for it.
Listen, and I know trading Luongo is another one, but I think that one is because it ended up costing them a cup years down the road because the guy that they traded for them to pick won the Conn Smythe.
Again, he won the Conn Smythe because of the Montreal voters. It should have gone to Eichel.
But he scored goals, Kirby. That's what he did.
He did. He was
the bias voting. But yeah, he was good. Sure.
And I guess last but not least, outside of Paul Maurice, all-time favorite Panther coach.
Oh, you're not going with any of the negative ones. He was giving me some of the negative ones off the air. All-time favorite.
All-time favorite coach?
I'm partial to Doug MacLean. I've interviewed him. But shout out to Roger Nielsen, Video Roger, like our first ever head coach. Those are two of my favorites way back, old era. Even more than Gallant or some of the other guys. I like.
Yeah, well, I'm going to actually go a different direction. I know I'm actually going to go with Peter DeBoer just because I met him at the practice facility and we had a good conversation. He was really cool and really nice guy. So I know he didn't really have that much success with us, and I wish
his first job at the NHL was with us, and he said he just wasn't ready for it at the time.
Yeah, kind of like Paul Maurice when he started. But you look at his track record now; he's one of the top coaches in the league. So for me, it was Peter DeBoer.
This name's going to be a little bit different because this guy gave me like the number one tip on like how to be a good defenseman, and that's Kevin Dineen.
Yes. I'm going to agree with you on that one. I forgot about
Kevin Dineen, gold medal winning coach with the women Canadian Olympic team.
Yeah. He was the one that told me as a defenseman in your own zone, never take your stick off the ice.
That's awesome.
Hey, Darnell Nurse, you should listen to that one. That cost you a goal in the finals.
Cody, if you guys listen to the post-game show, he's very particular where the stick is. Like, Cody, I didn't see it in the time. I'll go back and look at it on the film.
It wasn't on the ice.
Wasn't on the ice. It was on the wrong side of the ice. So Cody's good job of breaking that down in real time.
Listen, I don't care what it is. Unless he's going for a hit, your stick should never be off the ice if you're in your own zone. Because if you want to see why, go watch Game 1, the Evan Rodriguez goal in the Cup final. Nurse has his stick in the air, and guess what? Pass goes right through him. in statistics in the air, guess what? Your stick's not going to do nothing in the air. What are you going to do? High stick a guy?
But who's going to get caught with that? A lot of times, offensive defensemen trying to cheat for offense or not thinking about that.
Yeah.
Those are the guys.
Yeah,
right? If it's a defensive defenseman, I'd be more upset with him because you're like, he shouldn't be making that.
If it's any defenseman, I'm upset with you. That is.
Well, I'm up. No, I get what you're saying.
Like,
if there's little things I get upset with the centermen or the forwards not coming back on plays or with the goalies, but that's what you do. You get upset with
as a person once said, if you're a goaltender, tend the goal. If you're a defenseman, defend the goal. Like I can't score from my own end unless it's a freaking empty netter. And that's even a miracle. But that's what the great Paul Maurice has brought to us, those fundamentals and those things that you see other teams making those mistakes far more than us. But because we're fans of the Panthers, we live in this bubble and we just see the mistakes our players make. But go around the league and watch other teams, I think we're really rated well fundamentally there, Cesar. If I had $1 for every time I heard our power play sucked this year, the last 2 years actually, I may be rich right now.
Oh my God. Yeah, fans are so, because I think they watch
Edmonton
cross state and see what Tampa's doing and like, oh my goodness, like that's just not like or see what Connor McDavid's doing. Like, don't just compare that to what.
No, and look what happened to Tampa. They had the best power play in the league, and it didn't work out for them. So,
and when Steven Stamkos is one of your best players 5-on-5, you're in trouble at this stage of his career.
Yep, and I thought we played really good on the penalty kill, and I think that's more important, especially in the playoffs.
It's going to be interesting to see what our penalty kill looks like now because, we lost, in my opinion, probably the main catalyst of the penalty kill last year, Kevin Stenlund.
Yeah.
But yes, I think
like I said in the free agent show, glad he got his money. I don't know if I would have been reluctant to pay that, but I probably would have paid it anyway.
You never know. Bill Zito could bring him back if we're, at the trade deadline. So,
where's he at? Utah.
I
think they'll be fighting for a wild card spot right around then. So,
yeah, I got Utah and Seattle in there. Former Panthers fighting for a playoff spot.
Seattle.
Don't see the same for Calgary. Seattle. No, they're going to fight. No. Cody, I'm telling you, we're going to get into this as we go along this summer and into the fall here with our preview. But before we let Cesar go here, Cesar, just let everyone know where they can follow you. And Cody, I want to bring this segment back with our feature guests. I like this segment here.
Yeah, so they can follow me on Instagram at Cesar_inspires, or on Twitter or X at Big Ceaz. And yeah, definitely find me on there. I'm always putting content on. Now that we have football, I'll be putting some Cowboy content.
Thank God.
So, it's going to be.
I forgot the tag.
There we go.
I haven't worn it yet because, like, what they did in the playoffs.
It's all right.
Miami Peeps, I'm outnumbered here, but hey.
I told my friends.
At least we got Christmas Eve.
It's okay.
Cesar, part of Cowboys Panthers Nation. If you haven't joined our group chat yet, message me. I don't know, we're a dozen strong in there or more.
Yeah.
So great community in there. So,
I'm always fighting. I'm always backing up the Cowboys. So I know a lot of people are against what they do, but
even our co-host Nick, who's a Cowboys fan, can't stand what
being on the coaching side. I kind of know like what they're thinking about and stuff like that. So it's definitely,
it's always fun little rivalries we have within sports and outside of sports. So it's fun.
As I got in the background here, the new money man in Miami right now, Mr. Tua Tagovailoa.
Hey, it'd be awesome if we get a Cowboy Dolphins Super Bowl.
Oh boy.
No, it wouldn't.
I have enough with the Oilers and Panthers with family and relatives in northern Alberta. I don't know about
my friends already told me. They're like, Cesar, if that ever happens, I'm sorry you're not invited. I'm like,
there wouldn't
we'll have our own space.
There wouldn't be a podcast that week because we would just be talking about that. Because it's like around All-Star break.
Oh my gosh!
And the Panthers probably going to be well into a playoff spot then.
If that ever happened, we do Dolphin cast and Cowboys cast with all members of our community. Cody,
that would be awesome.
If it was a Super Bowl, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
No
Super Bowl. Oh my God! Yeah,
there'd be some pretty good ratings though if we had that.
Oh yeah, that would be huge ratings right now with those two franchises historically, and then where they're at. Especially Dolphins where they're at right now with the players they have. So yeah, it would be big.
But hey, let's Cesar, appreciate you coming on the podcast and share your inspiring story once again. Like,
No, man. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for having me on here and for allowing me to share my story on the platform. It's definitely awesome. And October is just right around the corner. It's, can't wait to go to October 8th game against Boston and raise that banner. So I know, Kirby, you're thinking about maybe hopefully coming down. That would be pretty cool if you could.
I was looking at the banner one, but also sometime maybe in the winter as well, because I want to see more than one game. The schedule they gave us is really crap with the one home game and then all the road games. So I'd want to come down for more than one.
Yeah, but we usually start out on the road every year.
Yeah, it's like I'm surprised they gave us the home game, but they had to because we're Stanley Cup champions, right? So
it's weird not having like the Tampa 2 games anymore to start the year, because you used to always be at Tampa or in Florida, and then we would go at Tampa. We would always start with Tampa 2 games. So now,
we didn't get Tampa till last year in December, which was weird.
And I think Miami's actually playing Boston, the Celtics, when they're raising their banner. So that's kind of funny too.
Oh no, you told Cody that. We're not getting started there. We got to wrap up. We
got 2 championships this summer. Let's go, baby.
I want to thank my co-host, as always, Cody Stevens, and I want to thank my guest today, Cesar. And as always, on the way out, let's go Cats.